see yourself in Tumbler.
You know where you hope this train will take you, but you can't know for sure.
Okay, get ready to match our spin with the retro thrusters.
It's not possible.
No, it's necessary.
Welcome viewers, this is Danny from Lego Buff Productions, here with the first episode of the Christopher Nolan project. In this episode, we'll be setting the scale for the Tumbler, which will be my first mock in this series. Although this episode might seem a little uneventful, setting the scale for the model is crucial to the final design. Without further ado, let's get started. The first design element I'll be starting with are the wheels. As you can see, I have a bin full of various different sizes and tread types of wheels here. I went ahead and dug through and pulled out some that I thought would be suitable candidates, and you can see those here. Take note the different sizes and tread patterns that I have available. There were a few wheel types I didn't have included in bins, so I went ahead and pulled those off some sets. You can see pulling one off here from the Tumbler from a Dark Knight Rises set, as well as pulling off one from this airport fire truck. Looking at the actual vehicle in the movie, take note of the difference in wheel size. The rear wheels are slightly larger than the front wheels, as well as the different tread patterns on each of the wheels. With that in mind, I separated the wheels that I had picked out into two separate categories, front options and rear options. Starting with the rear options, here you can see there are three different styles and sizes. The first two we see on the left are very similar in tread pattern, really just varying in size. However, the one on the right is a bit of an outlier with the different tread pattern you can see on it. And that one is a much similar size to the front one on the left, but its tread pattern is just too different from the actual tread that we see on the rear wheels on the actual Tumbler in the movie, so that's going to rule that one out. Onto the front wheels, here are all the different options that I pulled out from the bin. The first thing that stands out is two of the wheels in the middle have the same tread pattern, which is different from all the other ones and not accurate to the tread used in the movie, so that's going to rule those two out. Down to these three choices, the one on the very far left is just too large for the model, especially comparing it to the Tumbler set that Lego has made previously. Comparing it to the front wheel used in there, it is just massive and it would make the final model too big of a scale. That leaves these two options for the final model. Bringing back out the Tumbler set to give us a rough idea of how these wheels will look on the final mock. Keep in mind the final one will be slightly larger than this one. I would consider this set to be too small to the model from the movie. Now we'll start with the rear wheels. As you can see, one is both wider and taller than the other. We'll start with that one. And when we put it in the back, it is just too big and bulky. Keep in mind there will be two of these on each side in the back in the final model. Putting the smaller one in, it fits great and it looks perfect and accurate to the movie. Now going to the front wheels, you can see this one is just slightly smaller than the actual wheel included in the set, and this one that was actually taken from the rear of the set is just slightly larger than the front one. Putting them side by side with the back wheel, you can see the size variation here is just slight, where when we use the other one, it is significant. You really see the size difference here. With all of those details in mind, I have settled on these as the final wheel choice. For those of you who have seen the Dark Knight movie, you may recall the scene where the Bat Pod emerges from the Tumbler. That's a feature I wanted to include when I had originally envisioned this mock. However, after rewatching the clip from the movie, I noticed something very interesting. Here's the clip from the movie. Try to take note of where the rear wheel of the Bat Pod comes from. If you didn't catch it the first time, don't worry, I didn't either. I went ahead and slowed it down so we can get a better look. As you could clearly see, that time, the rear wheel of the Bat Pod is actually the other front wheel of the Tumbler. I did realize that the front wheel of the Bat Pod was the left front wheel of the Tumbler, but I did not know where the rear wheel of it came from. So watching that back, you see there's this really interesting mechanism where that other front wheel kind of folds back and then slides into place as the back wheel of the Bat Pod. It's a really unique and interesting feature, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to replicate that in Lego, so I'll be building this mock without the intention of building the Bat Pod into it. That does it for this week's episode. Check back next Saturday for more progress on the Tumbler. Don't forget to check out my channel for some other awesome LEGO videos, and have a great day.